So firstly and foremostly, I just started making videos on recaps and reviews on Baddies East episodes and whatnot. And I didn't make one for the last episode, and I'm kind of thinking I'm not even going to make one for this episode because there really isn't much to say. At this point to me, everybody's weird. I would say except for Suki, but I mean, it's flip floppy here and there for Suki. But Anna's weird, especially. I already felt she was weird in the beginning when Suki went to Siki acknowledge or approached her about the tweets about Krishan and stuff, and she was like, I didn't even mean, like, I didn't even want to do that, like, or whatever she was saying, basically not standing on business. I already felt she was just going to be flip floppy. And the only thing she stood on business on was with Scotty and whatnot, because everyone knows she can't fight. So Rolly is kind of hit or miss for me. But I think especially with the T situation, everybody just stopped feeling Rolly, and then with her with ET and all that stuff, it's just like, girl, get a grip. Like, this is just too much. I didn't really watch ET on Now That's TV. I just knew that she was known for being a fighter and whatnot, and that's what everybody wanted her on Baddies East or Baddies whatever for, was the fighting. But it's like, you gotta realize Zeus and Now That's TV, while they are similar in what they post or what they present us, they at least try to add some substance as far as dialogue and whatnot. Anytime I've seen a Now That's TV clip, they do have confessionals, but it's just like it just looks like everybody's just sitting around the house waiting to fight. Like people were saying, although ET is one of the better fighters and whatnot, everybody just kind of refused to pay attention to her actual personality and how that would transfer over to Zeus, which wasn't good. So there's that. People were also bringing up how Rolly decided to stand up when Suki was talking to ET, but then when Tasiki was talking to ET and she gave her purse to somebody, Rolly was sitting right next to ET talking about some, acting like nothing was happening. Like, let's be for real here. And Suki is like, say I'm Rolly, right? Suki's like right here. Like, come on, let's pull it together. And let's not even talk about Sapphire. Like, I know it was me and my best friend there, and me and my best friend are about the same height. We're like 5'3", and I know we're like shorter than Rolly. My best friend would have not let that even happen to me. I don't even think a water would be able to be thrown on me. Before the water is even thrown on me, somebody is jumping across that table to ET, and the other one is handling business with the other one, basically. I think a lot of people are in agreement that the whole last episode showing Smiley seizure and whatnot did not have to happen. They probably could have showed some clips and stuff just so we could have context as to why everybody else was angry and whatnot. Speaking of angry, Natalie, she would not have the chance to be all up in my face like this. I don't care how sick I was. I don't care if I just had a seizure. Bitch, get the fuck out of my face. Like, she would have got mushed and punched so fast. Like, security, they were there, but usually they really be in the way. They knew Smiley wasn't going to do nothing. But it's like, girl, defend yourself. Even, you know what? If I was there, if I was there and I saw that happening, like just like that, and she all up in her face, it would just blow me because it's like, ew, it's still COVID times. Like, why are you in her face like that? Like, I definitely would have been like, excuse me, why are we doing all this? You can back up. Like, she just came from the hospital. I don't care what anybody think. Just like Suki was saying, like, okay, she's not fighting you. Why are you all up screaming in her ear for? And then the whole Scotty and Natalie fight situation was very lackluster, and they try to say they're sisters and whatnot. Me and my sister, we would never. Even me and my non-blood sister, we would never. We would never. We would never. Look at me. We would never. And if we ever did, we have every right to put hands on each other because we know we don't play like that. Why are you in my face and why are you yelling at me? Get the fuck away from me. At the very least, like, no, I'm pushing away from me because you're really yelling in my face. Like, and then Rolly was sitting right there, and Natalie was like, I've been doing this for 15 years. And then Rolly was like, oh no, like all that spitting and whatnot. Like I said, COVID times did not go away. And going back to Sapphire, if my friend was like put up with all this BS for me, just for me to get on the show, because they didn't even want me on the show, she had to guest star for me to get on the show, nobody's touching her. Especially if I'm that tall, nobody's touching her. You don't even have time to go back and forth with her with the amount of time they went back and forth. It would be a dead ass like, you're not about to do this. You're not about to yell and get in her face like this. Y'all can back up though. And the only thing she did was like in between, okay, cool. But it's like, you let water get thrown on me. You let us be chest to chest with each other with for a bit too long. Like, pull it together. Oh, and a quick tip: if you're ever gonna fight a big girl like Rolly, don't let her put her hands on you first. Like that height difference, that size difference was gruesome. Like that was crazy to me. And honestly, Rolly don't even be winning her fights, at least in these baddies. I don't watch her on One More Chance. I really don't care. But all I've noticed with her fighting is that she just ambushes and like wop wop wop, like any normal girl would fight. Like if she was say my size, she really wouldn't be doing any damage, you know what I mean? So yeah, fighting a big girl, you gotta ambush him first, because I don't even know why. Apparently, it was in Suki's contract that nobody can fight her. But if you're willing to fight at this point in time, you gotta do it first, because otherwise, what we just saw happened. And I'm not gonna say anybody lost or won that fight. It was just a lot of like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, everybody freaking out. And I know everybody know that it's no way that Scotty and Natalie was arguing over some food. Now let's really unpack it. I feel like Natalie was trying to be shady and said whatever she said in text messages, and then tried to show somebody, trying to be sneaky and whatnot and all that. Like I would not be seeing her as my sister at this point. And even if it wasn't all that, and you're just using it as for ratings, and even Scotty was like, just do what you're gonna do. It's just like, girl, we can be a duo. We're not about to be against each other because you got me effed up so bad. And like maybe that would bring ratings if everybody wasn't feeling the way they were feeling right now. Like it has to be a more organic and truthful kind of story. Like you can't just say something and expect people to believe it. Like this, y'all grown as hell. This doesn't make any sense. Oh, and I'm glad Smiley went home, and I'm glad T went home. T wasn't producing much of anything besides the whole situation with T and Roll. I mean, with T, the whole situation with ET and Rolly, and I guess Scotty. And then her and Scotty's fight was even just like weird too, but that's neither here nor there. I really did hate how she was yelling in her face though. After she started yelling in Scotty's face, whether she stood up for herself or not, I was immediately turned off by her. I watched a few of her YouTube videos and whatnot, and she seems like she's a decent person, but definitely wouldn't be hanging out with her. I honestly need Mariah to go home, because after the whole chain situation, and then Smiley left too, there's really no point of her even being there anymore. She presents absolutely nothing. Oh, and then she was saying in the confessional she was crying, and maybe I'm blind. I do wear glasses, but I was wearing glasses when I was watching. I did not see any tears. And while I don't like Anna, I can actually understand of why she was saying I tried to act concerned, but I really don't care. But then again, why even act like you're concerned? Just sit there and just let everybody talk their stuff out and just don't say anything. What was the point of even saying I'm trying to act like I care, but I don't? I also understood Tasiki's frustration and thinking she was faking and whatnot because of everything that they've been through in this house so far. And then also, we don't know, they've been living with her for however long this trip was. So we don't really know like all the conversations they've had and stuff like that. And they said they've had numerous conversations with Smiley. So who knows, how deep Tasiki's frustration was. But I do applaud her for not even putting her hands on her, especially after ET dumped that fucking water on her. She was just telling her to go home. Because even though she said what she said and she said she was going to slap her and whatnot, I still feel like she has some type of care towards her, because she's just like, you know what, bro, just go. Like, it's not even worth it. Like, you know, everyone's kind of like against her for like, you're so insensitive and whatnot. But like I said, I understand the frustration. I don't agree or disagree. But I'll say overall, with these two episodes combined, what frustrated me and annoyed me the absolute most was Natalie yelling in these girls' faces and them letting her do it. I don't care who you are. I don't care who, like, if you sign my checks, whatever. I'm not about to sit here and look crazy on TV. Somebody's going to pay me, and you're not in charge of paying me. As much as she likes to be top dog and whatnot, you don't write my fucking checks, bro. Like, she's literally right here spitting and yelling and like in bitches' faces, like, bro, I'm about to spaz. Like, just having to watch that just gave me fight or flight, and it gave me fight more than flight, because it's like, bro, never, like, that's never happened to me in my life. But I know I've been in yelling matches before. Even just that gets me start shaking. I can't imagine if somebody was actually right here, like, energy shaking, everything. Like, bro, you too big to be yelling in my face like that. Someone has to be dealt with. But yeah, that's my that's nah, that's just crazy, bro. Like,